In this video, we delve into the recent shift in U.S. climate policy under former President Trump, who has significantly rolled back carbon emission reduction targets and withdrawn from the Paris Climate Agreement. With a renewed focus on fossil fuel production and the halting of clean energy initiatives, we explore the implications of declaring an energy emergency and dismantling climate-focused federal offices. Join us as we unpack the complexities of these changes and their potential effects on both national and global efforts to combat climate change. 1. Rescinding of carbon emission reduction targets. One of the most notable actions taken by the Trump administration was the revocation of executive orders aimed at reducing carbon emissions by 50% by 2030. This move erased a key climate target set by the previous administration. The aim was to significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions, which are major contributors to global warming. By dismantling these targets, the administration effectively halted progress in reducing the U.S.'s carbon footprint. This decision was met with criticism from environmentalists who saw it as a step backward in addressing climate change. The absence of these targets also signals a lack of commitment to tackling the pressing issue of climate change. 2. Withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement. In a move that sent shockwaves around the world, the Trump administration officially withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement. This international accord, signed by nearly every nation, aimed to limit global warming by reducing carbon emissions. The withdrawal indicated a departure from collective global efforts to combat climate change. The decision was justified by the administration as a means to protect American jobs and industries. Critics, however, argue that this move undermines the global fight against climate change and isolates the United States from international cooperation. The withdrawal also raised questions about the future of global climate agreements and the role of the U.S. in international climate policy. 3. Promotion of fossil fuel production. Under the Trump administration, there was a marked shift toward promoting fossil fuel production. Policies were implemented to encourage the extraction of oil and gas, including lifting bans on offshore drilling. Additionally, more land and waters were opened up for development, signaling a clear preference for traditional energy sources. This move was aligned with the administration's goal of achieving energy dominance and reducing reliance on foreign energy. However, it also posed significant environmental risks, including potential oil spills and habitat destruction. Environmental groups raised concerns about the long-term impacts of increased fossil fuel production on climate change and biodiversity. 4. Halting clean energy projects. The Trump administration also took steps to halt progress in the renewable energy sector. Federal approvals for wind projects were suspended, and funding for solar initiatives was frozen. This hindered the growth of clean energy, which had been gaining momentum in recent years. The suspension of these projects was seen as a setback for the renewable energy industry, which had been creating jobs and reducing carbon emissions. By prioritizing fossil fuels, the administration shifted focus away from sustainable energy sources. The halt in clean energy development also raised concerns about the United States' ability to compete in the global renewable energy market. 5. Declaration of an energy emergency. In a bid to support traditional energy sources, President Trump declared a national energy emergency. This initiative emphasized the importance of coal, oil, and gas, while excluding renewable energy. The declaration aimed to protect and revitalize the coal industry, which had been declining due to market forces and environmental regulations. Critics argued that the declaration ignored the benefits of renewable energy, such as job creation and environmental sustainability. The focus on traditional energy sources was seen as a short-term solution that failed to address the long-term challenges of climate change. The declaration also highlighted the administration's preference for fossil fuels over cleaner energy alternatives. 6. Dismantling climate-focused federal offices. The Trump administration dismantled federal offices dedicated to addressing climate change, signaling a reduced focus on environmental issues. These offices had been tasked with developing policies and strategies to combat climate change and protect natural resources. The dismantling of these offices was part of a broader effort to reduce the size and scope of the federal government. Critics argued that this move weakened the United States' ability to address environmental challenges and coordinate efforts to reduce carbon emissions. The absence of dedicated climate-focused offices also raised concerns about the administration's commitment to addressing climate change and protecting the environment. 7. Legal vulnerabilities of reversed policies. Many of the policies reversed by the Trump administration were established through executive orders, making them susceptible to reversal by future administrations. This legal vulnerability means that climate policies can change with each administration, creating uncertainty for businesses and investors. The reliance on executive orders also highlights the lack of legislative support for climate initiatives. This approach has led to a patchwork of policies that can be easily dismantled or altered. The legal vulnerabilities of these policies underscore the need for comprehensive climate legislation that can withstand changes in political leadership. 8. Support from the fossil fuel industry. The fossil fuel industry, which significantly funded Trump's campaign, benefited from policies promoting oil and gas extraction. The administration's actions aligned with the interests of the fossil fuel sector, which sought to expand production and reduce regulatory burdens. This close relationship raised concerns about the influence of industry on environmental policy. Critics argued that the administration prioritized the interests of the fossil fuel industry over public health and environmental protection. The support from the fossil fuel sector also underscored the challenges of transitioning to a clean energy economy. 9. Challenges for clean energy advocates. The policy shifts under the Trump administration created obstacles for clean energy developers and advocates. The suspension of renewable energy projects and support for fossil fuels hindered progress in adopting clean energy solutions. Clean energy advocates faced an uphill battle in promoting sustainable energy sources amid a political climate that favored traditional energy. The challenges were compounded by the lack of federal support and incentives for renewable energy. Despite these obstacles, the clean energy sector continued to innovate and grow, driven by market demand and technological advancements. 10. Global implications. The U.S. withdrawal from international climate agreements and reduced cooperation has significant global implications. The United States, as one of the largest carbon emitters, plays a crucial role in global efforts to combat climate change. The lack of U.S. participation in international agreements weakens global climate initiatives and reduces the likelihood of achieving climate goals. The withdrawal also raises concerns about the future of global climate diplomacy and the ability of countries to work together to address climate change. Despite these challenges, the global community continues to push forward with climate initiatives, recognizing the urgency of addressing climate change. These actions represent a significant shift in U.S. environmental policy, with potential long-term impacts on both national and global efforts to combat climate change.